Bolivia's government has declared a national emergency because of a water shortage as it suffers the worst drought in 25 years. The country's capital gets water for just 3 hours a day as reservoirs run dry. Last week, residents in Bolivia's second largest city, El Alto, briefly held hostage authorities from a local water company to demand an explanation for the shortage. 2 of the main 3 dam reservoirs feeding the city of La Paz are at 8% capacity, while the third is in the danger zone at just 1%.
Yancocota is dry. The water's drying up. There's very little. There's nothing more. My youngest son wants water and it's drying up.
The drought is affecting 125,000 families. Authorities have rationed the water supply. Schools will close 2 weeks early this year to prevent the spread of disease.
We have gone more than 3 weeks without a water supply. All we've had for the children was the water from the hillside.
1/3 of the people living in La Paz have had 2 weeks of water restrictions. The severe drought has prompted protests in major cities. People have accused the water company of corruption and the government of a lack of foresight.
We need water, and that's the reason for this blockade. There was no water on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or Friday, and now all we have to drink is dirty water.
Feeling the pressure, President Evo Morales pointed the finger of blame at the water management companies.
Unfortunately, we were never warned, never alerted by the Water Control Authority and the Public Company of Water and Health.
Pido disculpas al pueblo paceño.
Bolivian glaciers have shrunk in recent decades. The melted ice is a major water source for millions. 2 of the glaciers that supply water to the capital are expected to have completely disappeared by 2030.
On the eve of today's crucial vote in the Senate, President Trump urged Republicans to unite and make Obamacare a thing of the past. His efforts to repeal and replace have so far not run smoothly, so Trump made this plea in front of families he said had been hurt by his predecessor's signature health care law.
Obamacare has been for them a nightmare. There is still time to do the right thing. And for Senate Republicans, this is their chance to keep their promise. To every member of the Senate, I say this: the American people have waited long enough. There's been enough talk and no action. Now is the time for action.
The Senate will vote on whether to open debate on an overhaul, but Republicans are divided between moderates who fear low-income Americans will lose health insurance under new proposals and conservatives who want even deeper cuts to Obamacare. Battling brain cancer, Senator John McCain is returning to the U.S. Capitol to play what could be a key role in keeping the Republican plan afloat. The party has only a slim majority in the Senate, and Democrats are united in opposition. McCain is set to help decide whether the repeal push will move forward or perhaps be abandoned entirely.
In the case of
The Vatican has started switching off its fountains in St. Peter's Square and behind the scenes to save water amid a prolonged drought. It's Pope Francis's sign of solidarity with Rome, where suffocating summer heat has followed 2 years of lower-than-average rainfall. The Italian capital is now facing the prospect of water rationing after regional authorities ordered a halt to drawing supplies from a drought-hit lake nearby. 2017 is likely to be one of the hottest years on record in Italy, amid conditions that many experts are blaming on climate change. In July alone, with some 72% less rain than normal falling, according to weather reports, Rome is gasping. The droughts also hit around 2/3 of Italy's farmland at a cost of €2 billion to the nation's agriculture industry. The head of the Lazio region, which is centred on Rome, said, "I'd like to invite Donald Trump here to see what it means not to respect climate accords," a reference to the US president's decision to pull his country out of the landmark 2015 Paris Agreement.
Russia says it's deployed military police to monitor 2 so-called safe zones being established in Syria. Russian Defense Ministry spokesman Lieutenant General Sergei Rudskoy told journalists Russian forces had set up checkpoints in eastern Ghouta and around a zone in the southwest. To ensure the cessation of fighting, the military police of the Russian Federation on July the 21st and 22nd deployed 2 checkpoints and 10 observation posts along the agreed sections of the contact line in the southwest zone of de-escalation. Syrian warplanes have carried out a number of airstrikes in rebel-held eastern Ghouta in the past few days. Moscow plans to create 4 de-escalation zones in total, which were agreed with Turkey and Iran, but rebel groups have not formally signed up to the agreement.
17 employees of Turkish opposition newspaper Cumhuriyet went on trial today accused of supporting a terrorist group. At the central Istanbul courthouse, a large crowd of supporters let off balloons and called for their release. The case is seen by government critics as a further sign that freedom of expression is under attack.
This case is about criminalizing journalism. It's about punishing those who speak out. And if it works here today and this week, they will do it again and again and again.
The journalists are facing sentences of up to 43 years. Former chief editor Can Dündar, who is living in Germany, is being tried in absentia.
I'm proud of my friends in jail, still resisting and defending the paper and their rights to express themselves and defending the truth.
The detentions came amid accusations by opposition parties and human rights groups that Turkey is using the state of emergency imposed following a failed military coup against President Erdogan in July last year to clamp down not only on the alleged coup plotters but on all government critics.
Televidente, momento para um espaço comercial, agora nós estamos back no Informe Deportivo.